Hello, everyone, and welcome to Influential Leadership Tips. I'm Dave Miller.
And I'm John Hadley. And Dave, I've been thinking about something that's bugged me around communications with authenticity. And I was reminded of an example years back where someone who worked for me, he had an employee, and there was a situation where he wasn't happy with what the employee did. And so I felt like he did two things that struck me as wrong. One was with the guy's door open, he goes in and he curses him out, which, it's kind of partly it's the issue of criticizing in public versus private, because everyone around can hear what's going on. Well, so that's inappropriate to begin with. It should be communicating those sorts of things in private with someone. But he did it on purpose. I called him on what he had done, because the cursing out was in the workplace I didn't feel was appropriate in the first place.
Right.
And they admitted that this was all tactical. One, he purposely, he didn't feel as angry as he acted in the meeting. He just felt that he wanted his employee to see how serious he was, so he was going to put on a show of being very angry and specifically curse him out.
Kind of like some shock value.
Yeah. And then two, he purposely left the door open when he did it because he wanted the others in the area to hear him doing it. So I felt like there's two really inappropriate things. But it also struck me just the idea of communicating inauthentically that way. If I have to manufacture how I'm going to respond and the emotions I'm going to show, I think that's a very weak form of communication. What do you think? Would you agree with that?
Well, it sounds like a shame-based leader, first of all.
Yes.
Working on kind of a cheap shock value ploy to get the behavior he wants.
Mm-hmm.
And, again, it's like a father who scares his kids all the time and, blows up, explodes when certain things happen and the kids start walking on eggshells.
Mm-hmm.
In the short term, you get the behavior you might want, but you don't get the relationship, you don't get the respect.
Right.
In the long run. So those are the things that come to my mind. And the fact that you have to use it as a technique, like either it's serious or it's not, right? So I guess he felt it was serious, but he felt like the only way he could make that person understand the seriousness is to spaz out.
Yeah.
I didn't need to know more of the context about their relationship and their history to know why he felt that way. But
up until then, it seemed like that they had a good relationship. The other person had been working the unit for some time, so I didn't get why he felt it was necessary. But this seemed to be the way he had learned over the years to operate. He had been he'd actually been an insurance commissioner for some time, and insurance commissioner, chief actuary of an insurance department. And so he felt that he had a style, sort of a dictatorial style in the way he approached things. I think this was another example of that. But yeah, you get the person to walk on eggshells for a while, but they also learn, how do I maneuver around this?
Right.
So it doesn't work in the long run.
Not at all. It creates passive-aggressive behavior. It's usually short-term in its effect, because what they're doing is raising tension for a moment, but then as soon as the boss isn't around or may not know, tension goes back, rather than trying to help the person understand and own it.
Yep. And then and what's that person going to think when they realize this was just a tactic and it wasn't how they felt? Well, the next time they're going to be questioning whether you really feel the way you are acting in other situations. So I think it's a very weak short-term strategy.
Yeah, now I think, and tell me what you think of this. I think, look, if he was authentically upset,
mm-hmm.
I don't think we're saying that you can't express those emotions. Now, maybe you shouldn't curse the person out. You should do it behind closed doors, because you don't want to shame the person. But if you're upset about something and you're showing the intensity of being upset, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing.
Right.
What you're saying, what I hear you saying, is that the fact is that he just manufactured it.
Yeah. Yes, I would agree with that. And if you're not able to communicate, if you don't feel you're communicating effectively, well, think about, how do I need to communicate? How can I communicate authentically but get my message across? I had a client one time who told me she had been criticized by her boss for not taking some things seriously enough. And she's like, well, I don't understand. Of course I took it really seriously. As she gave some thought to it, she realized the problem was her style, because she was one to, okay, you tell me there's a problem, I'm going to go fix it. And she wouldn't get upset. And she said, well, do I have to get up and stand up on the table and, shout for them to see it? And I said, and we talked about it. I said, no, what you just need to say some words to show them that you recognize how serious a problem is it. Wow, I agree. This is a really serious problem, and I will get it fixed quickly. So you're just saying the words in an authentic manner could get her there. It's just, she didn't show the emotion and she didn't say the words.
Yeah, look, we talk about this all the time. People are wired differently, so some are going to be more emotive than others.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's all good as long as we follow the kind of the tenets of pride-based leadership. We're not working to create an energy that erodes someone's self-esteem. We want to build people's self-esteem, and you can do that and tell someone they messed up. There's ways to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And some people are going to do it with more emotion than others, but the key is to be authentic and, to understand, where you might be underreacting or overreacting. What's the appropriate emotion in the situation too? So
I guess the tip or the homework assignment I would give to our listeners this week is to go and think about all of the ways that you are communicating to your employees, to others, and are you being authentic? Are you really communicating what you mean, what you feel? And just give that some thought and think about, are there ways I can create a better alignment in the way I communicate what's important?
Absolutely.
And until that, look forward to talking to you all next week.
And until then, be influential.